Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Padel Pulse Podcast powered by TSH Padel. Chingalan, Chingalan, Chingalan. Finally, they get it done to take down Coello Tapia. So much to talk about what happened in the first ever Premier Padel tournament in Germany. The women's tournament. What in the world was that final? Oh my God, that was super long. New teams coming up in Rotterdam, and the draw is out, so we're going to break it down. But before we do, the thing we need to start with, the most interesting story I think we've had since probably the Leo Elsberger, Martin Dineno thing. Ismaeel, Haroon, Chingotto and Galan take down Coello and Tapia to get revenge the first time since the Italy Major. And they did it in straight sets to win the Germany P2. Ismaeel, give me your thoughts on this amazing duo that just pulled off an incredible win.
This was an amazing performance. And, I was going to be really sad after the way they won that semifinal if they didn't show up in the final the way they did. But, if you're just watching this final from an eye test point of view, you'd think that actually Chingalan are the ones that are 13-1 against Coello Tapia. Not that they're 1-13. You wouldn't feel that for a second with the way they were playing.
Since July of 2024.
Since July of 2024. Unbelievably, they put together a performance today that I didn't imagine was possible given how much they've been dominated basically all year. It was flawless. But for me, I think the most interesting part of today's match was that they were down 5-4 and Coello Tapia were serving for the first set.
Yes.
And somehow they found a way to break in that critical moment, which in my opinion was the turning point of the match.
Yes.
They went into the tie break. They were dominating that tie break, up 5-1, up 5-2, and then they were up 6-3. They lost the 3 set, and then they still found a way to close that out, dominated the second set. Yousef, that was unbelievable, and I think for me there was one key moment. I think it was in that 5-4 game when they broke back, when I think Chingotto missed one of the shots on a set point, on a break point, and Galan went and screamed at him, told him, bien Fede, something like, good Fede, like you did the right thing, I was like, that's a very odd reaction, 99% of partners on the paddle tour don't react to their partner that way after they miss a chance on a break point. And, that's the energy they brought today.
Yeah.
And that's the leadership Galan brought to the court. Mm-hmm. And it led to a near perfect performance today, Yousef.
Yeah.
It was magnificent.
It was. Haroon, Chingalan, you said this team should blow up. This team should break up. And me and you flip-flopped. You took my position in the beginning of the season, and I took yours, and I said they should stick to it.
Yeah.
Look what we have. Chingalan finally got that win.
Yeah, so I expected this was going to become the performance in Paris. Like, I thought this is how they were going to perform in Paris, but unfortunately they weren't able to do so because they were playing so well. I don't know. I feel like they've matured in a different way, and they approach the matches with a different mentality. Like, they don't put a lot of expectation because I think the energy that Galan had was very different. He was calmer. He felt like he was more in the zone. I felt like he wasn't like oh, now I need to win now. I felt like he just had a different energy about him, and he was carrying himself in a different way. And I like to say that, is it Galan's match or is it Chingotto's match? Both of them were amazing. Like, Galan was really galantico today. What in the world was that? The smashes were insane today, huh? Like he was outperforming both Coello and Tapia, who are the best smashers we have in the game right now. Both of them. Like, he was dominating them both, and it was working flawlessly. And Chingotto also was so in the zone. Like, Chingotto, a lot of the balls, a lot of the points that were supposed to be done, and Chingotto keeps it alive, and he keeps it going. So he comes up with some amazing shots. So, like,
I agree, Haroon. I really felt Chingotto was in tune today. Like, I felt like he was anticipating Coello's move. Like, if he was going to be tight at the net, he was whipping the bandeja right at his chest.
Yeah.
If he was far back, he was bringing him to the corner. If he was, on one side, he was moving. Like, it was Chingotto was brilliant today. Usually the Coello Chingotto matchup is the dominant one for Coello. Yeah. Today, Chingotto won this matchup today.
Yeah, and that's also like not just today, but the entire tournament. Like Yangos was complaining and saying that he was getting destroyed by Chingotto. Like,
agree.
yeah,
I agree.
this is also one of the best players in the world complaining that he can't do anything because he's abusing him. So it's not just today; it's the entire tournament. Chingotto's in the zone, and like every time we talk about that Chingotto's out, that Chingotto doesn't deserve or not deserve, but Chingotto can't hang, and Galan needs to find somebody else. Chingotto ups his game even more, which is really surprising and crazy. Like, I don't have words to describe how that is, because every time we count him out, the guy comes up with more insane level, and he's already been playing at a crazy level the past 2 years. And then Galantico, his name is Galantico for a reason, but he finds himself like inching to become more and more elite. And it just makes you wonder if he had somebody with more power, not to take away anything from Chingotto, because Chingotto's insane.
It's not the time for that. No,
yeah, I know, but like,
just one. Come on.
But I'm not taking away from Chingotto. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But I just want to highlight also Galan. Galan is playing on an unreal level. Because it was crazy. Let's just say that. Let's just stop it at that. What were your thoughts, Yousef?
I love Chingalan for so many reasons, but what makes me love them more today is the fact that they stuck together. And so many people said move on. Even in the beginning of the season, I was saying move on, and then I changed my tune. And I love that these two decide we've solved every puzzle in Padel except the Coello Tapia one. And that doesn't mean because we haven't solved it yet, we need to stop. We continue to solve that puzzle. And they kept chipping away and chipping away and chipping away. They got one. And then they had a really tough time for a few months there. But here they are. Because they stuck together, they won, and they were able to pull off this win. And that's just a reminder that sticking together and trying to find the solution as a team, it eventually will come. And that is absolutely what I loved about Chingalan these past few months, because they showed everyone that, by the way, sticking together is the solution sometimes to overcoming some of the biggest obstacles. So that's one point. The other point, Ismaeel, and I'm going to disagree with you, because you said the leadership of Galan, right? And you said that 5-4 when he told them Beni or whatever. I don't remember exactly what he said. But to me, I want to look at the changeover at 5-4. It was 5-3. They held their serve 5-4. And you could say maybe the body language usually changes once they get broken, But they went to the changeover, and you could see Chingotto. It was as if they had the lead. The energy that he had, the positive energy that he was giving, it was like, this is different body language. And maybe Galan was leaning towards the going negative in a way, another set escaping us. But he brought him back, and then you saw what happened. The energy was there from Galantico. The energy was there from Chingotto. So I think Chingotto kept them at that specific point. I felt that was super critical at that point. And in that changeover, let's fight. And look what happened. They broke them back 5-all, and then we know the rest is history. Went to a tiebreak, and they won it. So those were just 2 points for me. Just the fact they stuck together, and then that Chingotto leadership in that changeover, to me, they were some monumental things that I take away from this match. So many other things that I still want to talk about, but those were the 2 main things. But Ismaeel, Galantico, we need to talk about the history he's doing right now, because he now has 50 titles to his name. You know how many people have 50 titles to their name? Only 2 other guys, Bella and Juan Martin Diaz. They're the only people in history. So Galantico making it to 50. Tapia was at 49. They're going back and forth. See who's gonna pass. He passed him, huh? He passed him.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. He deserves to get it. It was a great win. And Galan is in GOAT territory.
It was him or Tapia today, and then he got it.
Yeah. He took it from, and but the way he did it, the way they both did it, to me.
I love it. I love the energy they had today. And, even after losing those 3 set points in the first set at 6-3, and then, Galan also at 7-6, I think or 6-5, it was either of those points. He hit a smash. I think it was at 6-all, or 7-6. He hit a smash. Wasn't the best. Tapia actually chased it down, and he knocked it out.
Yeah, he was so angry.
And he was really upset. And I thought that he might regret that because that was like a routine smash for him. And then 2 points later, he got the same smash, or even a tougher one, and he knocked it out and he won. Yeah. So I love the resilience they all showed today. Yeah. For me, it's the story of today is the resilience of Chingalan in the tough moments. Yeah. And you could see there was an energy shift today.
But Haroon, I do have to say, today, usually when we watch Arturo Coello play paddle, he is the alpha. Yeah. He is the one who is composed. He's the one who takes it to his opponents, and he's the one who's dictating everything. And I think Chingotto absolutely flustered him in this match. Yeah. And he made him go crazy. And even the commentator in the match, he's saying, Coello's playing angry right now. And he was playing angry for a reason, because he could not find an answer to Galan and Chingotto, but more specifically, he could not find an answer for Chingotto. And even how many times do we see Coello absolutely just going for smashes when he shouldn't, smacking bajadas continuously, not placing them sometimes.
That was crazy.
No, just smacking them. And then the iconic block from Chingo, and then the volley to volley with Tapia, and then he wins that point. To me, I feel like Chingotto absolutely ruined Coello mentally this match, and he took him out of it completely.
It was very strange. I was going to say also, that win they had today, so Chingalan, that win for Chingalan. Some of it also is that they got lucky that Coello and Tapia weren't really great today. Coello and Tapia, credit to them. They forced them into this position.
I think it's credit to Chingalan, honestly.
Credit to them. They forced them into this position. However, though, we usually see them composed, even if they're winning and they outplay them. They don't really unravel like that. And I felt that Coello unraveled a bit today. Coello was upset. He was frustrated on the bench, because his coach was telling him sometimes to take a second to think before he makes his shots. And then other times he was telling him to attack. So he was confused. He told him, tell me, how, to let it make sense to me. So, and usually he's a very composed player and he's very mature. So they caught a break there that they weren't the composed Coello and Tapia, and they weren't always in the zone. And maybe also Coello was trying to force things. He was trying to go for bajadas, the crazy bajada. He has the best bajada ever, for sure. However, though, he whiffed one completely when that went pure glass. After though, he hit one of the most amazing bajadas I've ever seen. Still, though, they were out of the zone today.
But we don't usually see that from Coello.
Yeah, you don't see that, especially on big critical points. Exactly. Like these mental farts. One of those missed bajadas, I believe it was on set point, or it was on a break point, something like that. That's not the type of shot you see from him. Yeah. And he told his bench, the commentator was saying, he told his bench and his coach in the beginning that I feel like I'm not in the match. And then Tapia told him, I don't feel like I'm in the match.
No, Tapia said that, and then Coello said, me too.
I don't know who said that, but they both said that, yet they were up 5-4 serving for the first set. So I didn't feel like there was an issue until they lost that. So maybe they did take their foot off the pedal in that important moment, and I really feel like that was the game changer once they lost that serving for the set at 5-4. And I agree, because today was the dip from Coello day, because I don't think really Tapia was there for the most part, and he was.
They challenged him, huh?
They worked him hard. They were going at him on defense, and it worked at times. There were a couple of points where it really worked. And sometimes it didn't work. But I think today most of the errors or the weaknesses came from the Coello side.
Well, speaking of the stats, by the way, because talking about unforced errors, it was 28 unforced errors Coello and Tapia, 22 unforced errors Chingalan. But on the winner side, which is very interesting, where usually you have Coello and Tapia who are the firepower, and you only have maybe... But I know Chingo is smashing, but the firepower is usually Galantico, and he was. Guess what? 49 winners from Chingalan compared to 46 from Coello and Tapia. So they actually outwinnered them.
Yeah, that's impressive. And Chingo hit a couple of smashes.
Yes, he did.
He was going for it, and they were playing more confident. They were definitely more at peace on court, and you can see what it translates into.
Yeah. What last thing I have to say about Chingalan, and I think, and this is a thought that came to me, and I believe this is the case, and you guys let me know what you think. But I think lower ranked teams, whenever the draw comes out, in a way they prefer to play Coello and Tapia instead of playing Chingotto and Galan. I feel like Chingotto and Galan, they're so ruthless in the early rounds. They give no one a chance. But sometimes I feel like Coello and Tapia, maybe they can go to a 7-5 set. They can go to a final set sometimes. We just saw with Maxi Arce and Pablo Lijo. But Chingotto and Galan, they come out and you see Chingo's face. And he's like, and they're like, they want to absolutely destroy their opponents. And that's usually what happens. We saw what happened with the Deus brothers, Love 2. And then we saw what happened afterwards, who they play after that. Like, I think it was 6-1, 6-2. We saw what happened with Yanguas and Nieto. Yeah, they demolish everyone, but their issue was Coello and Tapia. So I don't know if you guys agree with me, but in a way, I do feel like maybe Coello and Tapia give us a chance in the early rounds. They don't give us the same, respect. But Chingalan, from the very first point of the very first round, they're going 1,000 miles per hour.
I mean, this is a good point, Yousef, that you're making, because just look at the draw, what they just did this tournament. It was 6-1, 6-3, Love 2, 1-4, 1-2, and then 7-6, 6-2.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
To Coello and Tapia, like, they only lost one set more than 4 games, and that was the Coello and Tapia.
Yeah.
So super impressive from them today.
Haroon, do you agree with me on that?
Yeah, but
point,
it's
or no?
only recently, it is some recent.
Past 2 tournaments, I would say, past 2 tournaments they've been this way.
Yeah, because you're talking about the Ausberger Danino loss. Like I think the matches before
like
that.
this tournament and Paris, they had this type of record.
There was once the commentator Gonzo Binia, he's like, sometimes when you're watching Chingalan matches, like if you're not like present and watching, you're probably gonna miss it. Like if you go do anything and come back, you might miss the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
sometimes they make it feel like that.
Yeah, but I want to go back to that the first set tiebreak, guys, because we have to appreciate these moments because they don't come a lot, where they get multiple set points. Chingalan against Coello and Tapia, when they got 3 set points in that first set tiebreak, I was like, whoa, what is happening now? Like, are they gonna be able to convert it there? And then I was like, oh my God, Coello and Tapia tie it up to 6-all. Like, I felt deflated. I imagine what they were feeling like. And then they got it back and they were able to convert some. They got some convert.
Mental resilience, huh? That was some.
It was great. I have to appreciate that because these moments are not going to come a lot, according to the record. And also now the streak continues where more straight set matches against Coello Tapia and Chingalan continue. So another straight set victory.
But guys, but
first tiebreak they ever win, by the way.
I was about to say. Then which brings me to the next point, Ismaeel, because remember you were talking about mainly last episode that you think it's a mental block. When they won that tiebreak, and I'm like, okay, they broke that mental block, their first ever tiebreak win. You think that it's open now? It's open? That mental block's gone?
I really like today's win a lot. I like it a lot.
It was a very slow court, so
very slow.
Even though we said Coello Tapia said they actually prefer slow courts.
Yeah, we agree.
I don't know if they would say that after.
They're unstoppable on the slower courts. Yeah. Actually, we had this take last week. We all agreed on that, and I think the turning point, not just the tiebreak. For me, really, I feel like just that break at 5-4.
Of course, that 5-4.
For me, that was like maybe a turning point in this rivalry. I think we might come back to that moment because I felt it was so clutch. Yeah. I really felt it was so clutch. And the tiebreak was building on that momentum. It's true. When you lose 3 set points, it's tough. But their backs were against the wall at 5-4. I think in order to break back, they had to have the belief. So I think that really, it might be a changing thing. It might be a changing point in the rivalry. I think it might be.
Yeah. Good points.
But I disagree with you guys. I told you it's not a mental block. To me, it was a paddle issue. It's not a mental thing. But we shall see.
Today, Haroon, you are wrong. so you have to live with that one, my friend.
I'm happy I'm wrong. I'm happy that Chingalan are getting some wins there.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Like, I'm so happy for them. I am so happy for them. Yeah. The resilience is really something to admire.
For sure.
But guys, before we move on, this tournament, this final, this Chingalan insane win. Haroon, who was your MVP?
Galantico, man. Galantico. Yes, Chingotto was amazing. Chingotto was putting them in positions to take it to the next level. However, Galantico was Galantico. He is my MVP. Dude was playing with insane firepower. Best player in the world this tournament right now.
Ismaeel, who's your MVP?
I have to agree. It's also Galantico for me. I love what I saw from Chingotto. But just this was maybe the highest level of Galan we've ever seen this past stretch here. I loved it. It was unbelievable the way the smashes were clicking. He was dominating defensively, offensively. His energy was incredible. For me, it's Galan.
Would you guys allow me to say it's both Chingotto and Galan as a team? They're co-MVPs? Because I really believe that. I believe
they both deserve it. They both deserve it for sure.
They both, like, I think, I as I told you guys, I think Chingotto and the way he played, he made Arturo Coello completely lose his mind.
True.
And Galan held his own against Tapia. But I really believe the breakage was Coello. How about this? The MVP is Federico Chingotto for the reason that he set Galan up in most of those smashes. But not only that, I think he was able to outplay Arturo Coello. How many times do we say that? We do not say that. So that is why he is my MVP for this.
Fair.
He's deserving. They're both deserving, honestly. It was really, really impressive from Chingotto to get. You felt like he could go on for 70 more hours and he wouldn't be tired.
Yeah.
True.
He had that motor today.
He was keeping them alive.
so
He was keeping them alive for sure.
I'm going to go back and watch this match again, like just enjoy
Great
it.
match.
Amazing.
Because
Amazing.
that was-
Amazing clinic of
The
paddle.
level of paddle was insane.
Amazing
Unbelievable.
points.
But can I say, I prefer, by the way, watching Chingotto and Galan play paddle more than Coello and Tapia, kind of, because I feel like I can learn from them in a way, because the way they play is I guess, more, would you say traditional in a way? So like you can learn from how they work as a team. Coello and Tapia, they're just otherworldly. They're not human. Galan's not human, but the way they work as a team, I think I can learn from them when I watch them.
Maybe because it's hard to do what Coello does on
Exactly.
the court.
Him and Tapia, like it's
This
hard to
is
learn
my
from
favorite
them. You
matchup
can-
to watch because you get to see the paddle that you grew up, or not grew up, but you the paddle that we started to learn to play like in whatever, and then you see this revolutionary level of paddle, and it's nice to see the clash of philosophy. So I love this rivalry. Both of them are interesting to watch for sure.
It really is. Yeah.
Well, it's back a rivalry again because without this win, it would have been a much different story.
7-15 sounds nice.
It sounds nice, but 1-14 was going to sound really sad.
Yeah, but it's 2-13. But let's disregard that. Let's focus on the 7-15.
How about this? Let's focus on 1-0 in the past one. Let's focus on that. Or 1-1 in the past two. That's also nice. So that's the spin zone that Galan and Chingotto need right now.
Pick whichever spins.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Or actually
We need
1
this
and 2,
win.
1 and 2. So you need to tie it up and get that second win.
Let's see how it plays out now in the next Rotterdam next tournaments. We're gonna get into those in a second here.
Yes, sir.
But well, guys, we also have a lot of other nice stories happening throughout this tournament. So let's get into those. So let's go into our biggest winners of the week.
Yeah.
Yousef, who's your biggest winner in Dusseldorf?
Well, guys, Haroon, I'm gonna let you go first because I think you have an interesting one.
Yeah, to me, it has to be Pablo Jose Maria. I'm going to the women's side, especially watching today, Pablo Jose Maria. I felt like, God, man, like this woman is amazing. Like I think she's not appreciated enough, and to me, she is the best player in padel. She reminds me a bit of like of a Lebron Coello type of style player. She's so aggressive, and I felt like. I don't want to take away from like I just want to put light on Pablo Jose Maria, but I felt like if she had somebody else with more firepower on her side, it would have been night. Like it would have been night for sure. Pablo Jose Maria is so talented. I feel like Pablo Jose Maria could even go play on the men's side because she has a lot of power.
Wow.
And she's so she's so great defensively, and she's also has an amazing smash. To me, she has to be Pablo Jose Maria because there are so many points where I was like, wow, I was really mesmerized watching her play. She was taking over. She's like, this is my time now. And when they're down break point or whatever, and she's like, yeah, now it's my turn. And yeah, I was impressed. She's my biggest winner of the week, guys.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to have a rebound take to that when we get into the women's final later on in the episode. But Yousef, I'll go into your biggest winner.
Okay. Well, the biggest winner for me is the ones and the onlys, Momo Gonzalez and John Sanz. I think these guys had an amazing farewell. You know, everyone tries to have a nice farewell. They're moving on, and boy, did they have it. I think this was an amazing tournament from them, and this was the confidence boost that they needed to be able to take down Stupa and Lebrón in straight sets. And, you know, in the first set, Stupa and Lebrón were serving for the set, came back 5-4 down, won it 7-5, and then second set they took over also, and they won it. So I think Momo Gonzalez, guys,
That was a clinic. That was a clinic of a match by Momo.
Momo Gonzalez played a perfect match. John Sanz played amazing, but Momo Gonzalez played a perfect match. And people sometimes see his smile and think this man is not a competitor. This man maybe is not built for the big moments. This man maybe is not as serious as he should be. But boy, is Momo Gonzalez a player. And I love to watch him play.
Arguably, honestly,
He's
one of
my
the
favorite
most
players on
of all
tour.
time. Yeah, he's amazing.
He's one of the most talented players. He is one of the most underrated players on tour. Semi-final, I know Coello Tapia destroyed them in that semi-final, but a semi-final appearance to say goodbye. I think it was a special run for them, and they are my biggest winners, guys.
Amazing. They are both super underrated.
Yeah.
Very, very underrated.
I think
players.
Momo more than John even.
Yeah, probably. I would agree. He's been around longer too.
Who?
Momo.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been underrated for more.
Most athletic player on tour.
Probably.
Sorry.
He's most talented.
Yeah.
He's
I
one of the
take
most talented.
Take that statement.
Definitely.
He is one of the most
Definitely.
talented. How about you, Ismaeel?
Well, guys, Yousef, you hinted this at the top. But for me, long-term partnerships are here to stay. Thanks to Chingalan. They have been asked to break up since the beginning of the year when they kept getting chopped up by Coello Tapia, kept getting chopped up. We told them that you need to break up. Everyone on planet Earth told them
You
to
guys
break
told
up.
them.
To be fair, I'm also,
You guys are
I said that because I'm biased.
We're owning up to it.
I wanted Galan to go back to Lebrón. Can you blame me? I am biased.
Yes.
Long gone.
And that's been my favorite partnership of all time. But they stuck together. They've been openly talking about how much they're committed to each other.
Yeah.
And, we're going to get into all the new teams. All these new teams didn't last for more than 7-8 months tops. And here we are. And these guys, they survived,
A year and a half.
all the ups and downs of their partnership. And it's paid off because, even when it looked like it wasn't going to pay off, it did. So is our long-term partnerships back? Maybe, because some people are going to have to look at this and believe that maybe we shouldn't break up right now, even if we just had a bad, slump.
I agree with you. I think it's a great point. I think to your point, like before this tournament, but if you ask me, like in general, like the gap between Coello Tapia and Chingotto and Galan Haroon is much smaller than the gap between Chingotto and Galan and everyone else.
Of course.
Maybe because
of course.
Stupa Braun is not looking as promising as
No, it's
we
not.
thought they were.
No, it's not.
And we're going to talk about them in a moment as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Of course, the stats don't
So
lie. Like that.
I would say really the gap between Chingalan and everyone else is much bigger than the gap between Coello and Tapia.
It might be.
Them and Coello and Tapia.
It might be.
Of course it is.
That's
because
how good
they're how many finals have we seen them play with each other? How many finals did not feature Coello Tapia or Chingalan? Of course, that's evident there.
Stupa and Lebron broke in there a bit, but
there's no discussion.
But I do believe that.
Yeah, but it shows you that this is also a factor of having time.
Yeah.
When you spend so much time together, you practice together, you've been in big moments together. Yeah. Of course, these things pay off. Yeah. If you choose to learn from them, they are huge learning experience. You've taken the bumps and bruises together, like NBA playoff teams and NFL playoff. Like this is what you need.
Yeah. Last week you said, "Oh, Galan's sad. He looks different." I told you everything's just fine. Everything is fine.
I love it. I love it.
All right, guys. Moving on from biggest winners to this is a big spicy question for you guys. Yousef, I'm coming to you. What's next for Stupa Lebron?
Guys, it's a tough,
Another early exit, Yousef.
an early exit. Fine. Quarterfinals, you can say they lost to Momo and John, who I think are formidable opponents, and they are up there. It's not like they lost to a bad team. They lost to a really, really good team, a Masters champion in John Sanz and a top player for so many years in Momo Gonzalez. And, it's just, I think what's going to happen is they're just going to stick to it. And they have no other options. They both have no other options at the moment. I think Stupa maybe has the Cardona card. Lebron has no other options.
Why?
I don't think there's anyone out there for him at the moment for him to go to. We talked about this last episode. And, Stupa
He
at
only
the end.
has Yousef the Ausberger card, and
It's not there.
That's if Ausberger chooses to pick up the phone.
Exactly. He's with Danilo. You even hinted that you talked about how they are great friends and they love to do everything with each other. So they're enjoying that. So I think status quo, it continues as is. And also, Franco Stupasuk knows that he's playing with someone like Juan Lebrón arguably the best right player in history, how can you, like, you might regret this. Like, working through it is probably, you do it as long as you can, because you might never get the chance to play with someone like him again.
Yeah.
What
So
about you,
stick with
Ismaeel?
Well, you know, I think it was in the Reserve Cup series, they were asking Stupa about the relationship with Lebron. He said, yeah, we haven't been practicing together, but we had a long breakfast and we talked things over.
We've been arguing since
Yeah,
then.
we've been arguing since then. And, you know, the energy was clearly off also in this tournament. You know, they went down a break in one of the earlier round matches. And then they were also, you know, in danger in the last match. And then then they ended up losing it. You know, they put themselves in a bad situation. So, yeah, they're going to continue, Yousef, because I agree. I think they both believe that they're the only options for each other. But just then, why just fix the energy then? Because they had bad energy the entire tournament. I hated the body language, which was worse than usual in my opinion. I didn't like the communication. They were like, doing that, playing that way was enough to beat everyone until they faced a team that actually is fighting, has good chemistry, and has a reasonable amount of talent that they can beat them. And then they lost to Momo and John. So, yeah, Haroon, I don't like where this is heading, Haroon.
Yeah, like I told you guys, they should blow up already. I told you guys this like weeks ago, months
There's
ago,
no one out
that
there,
this is not a
There's
team
no
that
one
should...
out there.
What?
There's no one out there.
I disagree. I think anybody out there is better. I think they can explore other things, and if Lebron or Stupa decide to call, the teams that are already formed will break up for them for sure. If they're a top 3 team, I think they're gonna break up.
Which team do you think would break up for them?
By the way,
call
I
from
wouldn't.
one?
I would think that Ausberger can answer the call of Lebron if he decides to call him. And also, I think that like there's a lot of people that
It would be hard to turn it down. It would be hard to turn it down, Haroon. If LeBron calls you, it's hard to turn down. And after Dinino's performance this tournament.
And also, what's the big deal? Like, they can just break up and then go to somebody else after one tournament if they don't like it. There are no rules. There are no limitations to that. Why not? They could try it out. We could see it happening like crazy. So it's and then you can go back together with a guy that you were with before. So I don't think there's a problem there. However, I think that the chemistry between them, I think it's broken. I don't like this dynamic between them. I think Stupa was willing to tolerate that in the beginning of the season, and he thought that LeBron has problems and whatever. And he was tolerating a lot of it, but I think it's continuing and nothing is changing, and it's still the same old. And I think Stupa feels a lot of disrespect.
There was bad energy last tournament.
What?
I don't think that LeBron was negative towards him. Like, I was watching closely
in Paris.
last
No,
tournament.
not that this tournament they were not negative towards each other, but they were indifferent, which is worse.
No, I don't think they were indifferent.
It was just like passive, very passive. Everything was passive. There was no fight, desire. Like, when they lost, I felt like they were like good riddance. Especially I just didn't feel that there was the fight that you need on the court.
Well, Stupa's an older guy, so Stupa's not gonna get emotional and say, "Oh yeah, he hurt my feelings. Now I'm gonna break up with him tomorrow." Stupa has been tolerating a lot of these crazy outbursts that's been happening by LeBron, and rightfully so, because LeBron is a great player. But I don't think that Stupa believes in the project anymore, because they haven't been able to get the wins and results that they wanted to get. And I don't think that Stupa is better off staying with LeBron. I think he should break up, go with somebody else, at least get some fun and enjoy padel. You're gonna say that winning is fun, but winning when you're winning is nice that you win sometimes, but also that you fight and have these toxic outbursts other times. I don't think it's worth it. So I think what's next for them is that they break up and they're both going to be better off with somebody else. And I think that LeBron should entertain that Ausberger call, and it would be nice to see pushing Ausberger to the next level.
You know, Bella said, when it comes to professional padel, the only thing that matters above all else is winning. And no one gives Franco the best chance to win than Juan Lebron. Juan Lebron is the man who he is. He's a superstar. And when you have that superstar next to you, you work through everything.
Yeah, but he was getting the same results with Yanguas.
But they're not. Yeah, he was. That's what my point.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. He wasn't making it to no finals. He wasn't beating Chingotto.
Yes,
He
won a title with Yanguas.
Sure, but he had a
Yeah,
title.
he won New Giza. None of the top players played that tournament. So he beat Garrido and Berga in the final. With all due respect
I
to them,
guess
it's not
the
Chingotto.
results are underwhelming given what they were expecting, I think.
Fine, okay. But they were just in the semifinal in Paris. And they were up a break on Coello and Tapia.
Sure.
So, like, fine. But, like, you're not going to get those results with someone else. And also, I think it's a really important thing. David Howe told us, coach of the Swedish national team, you guys need to check that episode out. He said that but for the players, the ranking is so important. When they team up with different guys, it's for the ranking. So Lebrón is the top, top five guy.
Not the only thing. Like, he has to mesh well. They have to be, in sync with each other. They have to enjoy the partnership. Like, you have somebody like Paquito talking about Bergamini, saying that he's a 10 out of 10. Inside, outside of the court. Like, that's somebody that you would want to play with, even if it sacrifices a few of the ranking spots. Would you not?
Well, they broke up. Which brings us to the breakup that they broke up. So
yeah, but not for ranking. Not ranking.
We'll get into that right now because guys, we have lots of interesting teams. They're all starting in the Rotterdam P1. So a very interesting question that anyone asks when a partnership ends, and that is, who will win the breakup? So I'm going to give you guys a few of these old teams, and you let me know who you think will win. Who's going to win the breakup out of these two players? Ismaeel, first up, Paquito Navarro and Lucas Bergamini leaving each other. Paquito set to join John Sanz. Lucas set to join Javi Leal. Who's going to win this breakup?
I am a huge fan of John Sanz, and I think he is one of those players who has experience at the top of the game, playing elite final stages of tournaments, and he also has power, which I think at this stage in Paquito's career, he needs someone who has consistency plus power. So I think Paquito is going to win this breakup. Okay. I'm higher on him and this combo than Bergamini and Leal. I think Leal is quite erratic as a player. So I think I just prefer Paquito for that reason.
Haroon, who's going to win the breakup?
No, for sure it's Bergamini. I'm high on Bergamini. I've been high on him since I saw him hold a racket before. and I fell in love with his game. And I think that Paquito, because he's getting older, because he's on the low end of his career, I think that he is a little bit more of a liability. And I think that I'm a big fan of John Sanz. Great player, but I think that Javi Leal is on the upper trajectory right now, and he's improving. He's getting more experience. He's only losing to big time players. Like, he's not losing to just to some random players in the first rounds or whatever. He's losing to Coello Tapia, losing to Stupa, Lebron, losing to Yanguas and Mike. And I think that he's become resilient. Yes, he was an emotional, erratic player, as Ismaeel likes to say, but I think he's become more composed, and I think that his upside has become more controlled, and he has become a more controlled aggression, and I think that Bergamini is going to provide that controlled aggression for him. So I think that Bergamini is going to win that breakup.
Paquito is on the decline, and I think Lucas is on the up. So, but also John Sanz is a young player on the up. Javi Leal is also on the up. I love both teams, by the way. I think they're both going to work very well. But I do believe that this Bergamini-Leal one I think Bergamini is going to win this breakup. And, Leal, he's this wild horse. And I think Frank Guerrero wasn't really the one. Frank Guerrero was kind of a wild horse when he wants to. Also, he has the smash. He wants to be aggressive. So I think Bergamini is going to play sound, safe, smart paddle with Javi Leal, and maybe he'll bring out the best in Javi Leal that way. I think Paquito, guys, I think he's on the decline. I think it's just age, and age is not just a number.
For me, it's not clear who's the alpha Yousef in the Leal-Bergamini matchup.
It's Leal. Leal is the dominant one, and Bergamini's always been a supporting character.
Guerrero,
I don't think Leal's just like I don't think Leal's the alpha in that equation, but. Sorry. But we are going to see, but I do believe I'm going to go with Lucas Bergamini is going to win the breakup. Well, second team we have that's breaking up. We just talked about them. Momo Gonzalez and John Sanz Haroon. Momo Gonzalez set to join Fran Guerrero. And John Sanz, we just said, is joining Paquito Navarro. Who will win this breakup?
Yeah, like following up on the same point, I think it's because of age. I think that Momo Gonzalez is going to have a better team. I think Momo is going to win this one because Guerrero is also on the rise.
Ismaeel.
I love Fran Guerrero. He's my favorite player after Ausberger at the moment. And
wow.
anyone joining Guerrero is going to win. Guerrero is an alpha joining someone with season. He's never played with such a seasoned, experienced player like Momo before. He's always had young guns next to him. Yeah. So he's going to finally get some maturity and experience and knowledge on his side. Yeah. I love this team.
Yeah. Well, guys, I guess it's unanimous because I love Momo Gonzalez and I think Fran Guerrero is coming. And this team, I think they're gonna be very, very special. So I told you, John Sanz, as you said, Haroon too, Paquito, age. So I'm also going Momo Gonzalez is gonna win this breakup. Last one, okay? Speaking of, but we just talked about both of them. Javier and Fran Guerrero, one of the most interesting pairs that we've had in the past few months. Gone, dusted with. Javier set to join Lucas. Fran Guerrero, we just said, set to join Momo Gonzalez. Out of these two teams, Ismaeel, these two players, who wins the breakup?
Automatically, Fran Guerrero. So easy for me. He's the alpha of this partnership. He's going to bring that alphaness to Momo, and he's going to learn, he's going to get expertise, he's going to make deep stages of tournaments. Yeah. Javier is not the alpha, and Bergamini is a great player. I'm not sure how quickly they will mesh. For me, it's Fran Guerrero.
Haroon, who's winning this breakup?
I think this is going to be Javier is going to win the breakup. Yes, Momo Gonzalez and Fran Guerrero is going to be a great electric team. However, I think Javier is underrated and Paquito Bergamini is underrated. And I think that's going to be a great team that's going to surprise everyone.
I think they're going to be a great team, but I am higher on Momo Gonzalez and Fran Guerrero as a team. I think, like you said, Ismaeel, I can't add more to what you said about Fran Guerrero joining a seasoned vet, a guy like Momo Gonzalez. So I'm going to say Fran Guerrero is going to win this breakup because he just joined a beast to play with.
By the way, Momo's a great partner.
Yes.
Great partner. He always brings the best out of everyone he played with. Look what he did with Edu Alonso. Look what he did with John Sanz. Look what he did with Alex Ruiz before him. He was with Chingo. Like whoever he plays with brings out the best.
I wish someone, like you said, biggest winner, long partnerships. I wish someone just like stuck with Momo. Someone stick with Momo, and maybe this is the team. Yeah. Maybe this is the team because Fran Guerrero is looking for someone up there, and this might be it. But I think Momo Gonzalez deserves a long-term project.
Yeah. I mean, he had a great project with Edu Alonso, and remember how great and fun that was?
Yeah, we're awesome.
I think this one with Guerrero is going to be better.
Because Fran Guerrero's Edu Alonso pro.
I think so, in my opinion. Yeah. In my opinion. But it's going to be fun to see how they do in the Rotterdam P1. Yeah. And we can come back and see which one of us got this right, at least on the first try. Yeah. In the early lookings of these partnerships. Yeah. In the meantime, let's get to this question because, we just saw huge changes in the partnerships. Yeah. Yousef, let me start with you. Which partnership are you sad to see end, though?
Well, one of my favorite players on tour is John Sanz. And one of my other favorite players on tour is Momo Gonzalez. And I think this team was amazing. And, I was praising them for sticking through so many bad times, and eventually they got their breakthrough. They just got their breakthrough. Why? I think, as much as I'm excited to see the new teams, I feel like this team had potential to be a really, really good team. And I would love to see at least finish the season out. So I'm actually sad to see that team go.
Yeah, that's a good point, Yousef. Haroon, what about you?
Yeah, to me, it's Javier and Fran Guerrero. I thought this is a great team. I have no idea why this team decided to break up. They were the ones that were actually giving Coello Tapia a lot of trouble. So it makes me sad to see that because I felt like they could have built something. Next year, they could have came with more firepower and learned to have a year under their belt. But yeah, I'm sad to see that this is the team that broke up. But other things maybe are going to be nice to see because of that breakup.
Yeah. As for me, I'm not really sad to see any team go. I wasn't really attached to any of these teams. I, in fact, like a lot of the new partnerships. So, I mean, you guys make good points, but I'm not really sad about any particular team, actually.
Okay.
I'm actually more excited about the teams to come.
Well, that's a fair point.
Well, speaking about things to come and looking forward, Yousef, Which team are you most excited for?
Oh, which team am I most excited for? Oh my God. Lots of interesting ones. Let me say this. You know, I'm a big fan of Jairo Bautista, and also one of my favorite players who's coming back. He just played a tournament and he's back. He's healthy. Tino Libak, guys. I'd love to see what Tino Libak's going to do with Jairo Bautista. Jairo has been amazing during the end of the season away. I think he likes the slower courts. And Tino coming back, let's see if he can peak by the end of the season since he had some chance to recuperate. So I'm going to say that's the team I'm excited to see what they're going to be like.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a fun team. Jairo's a good partner. Yeah. He's a very consistent player. I think that's what Tino needs next time.
I'm excited for all of them, though.
What about you, Ismaeel?
I'll say this because I want to see Tino.
For me, it's Fren Guerrero. I'm obsessed with this dude. I'm a big fan of Fren Guerrero. I'm really, really excited to see what he does next to Momo. Honestly, I really feel that Leal, his energy let them down in a lot of big moments. Not just the fact that he has
his highs are so high and
his lows are quite low. He's an erratic player, which, you know, it's fine because he's so aggressive. And that's, you know, that's okay. It's expected. You know, Galan, Lebrón, oftentimes they go through these unforced error spells. But I just feel like it was costing Guerrero so much. So I can't wait to see what Guerrero does again next to the consistent, stable, experienced force of Momo. Yeah. On the slower courts, I think it's going to do a world of good.
Speaking of Javi Leal, Haroon, like we put out the clip on TSH Padel. It was like 4-all in the tiebreak and the ball's in the corner, and it's not like that low. And then he decided at 3-all, in the tiebreak. He decided to do tweener side glass, trying to hit the winner past Tapia, like Coello. That's to sum up what Javi Leal is. He's capable of those things. The fact that he's that talented enough to go for them. But my brother, maybe it's not the time to go for those.
Just as a fan of this team, I was a fan of this team. Yeah. It was very frustrating at times to see Javi Leal's decision making get in the way of smart play.
Yeah, but
how about you?
If you're too smart and too conservative, then what's so fun about losing 7-6, 7-6, like 6-7? Like, it's not so fun. You would rather put yourself in a position to win. But Ismaeel is not high on Javi Leal. I'm high on Javi Leal. I think Javi Leal and Berga is going to be a fun team. There are other fun teams also that I think that I would like to see. I'd like to see this Cardona Garrido. We're also only going to get it one time because Cardona is going to play with Gonza. However, it's going to be fun to see. To me, that's exciting. It's a little bit of another version of Karburger, which I love to see. But yeah, there are a lot of fresh things that we're going to see, like how they're going to mesh. But I think a lot of interesting things up ahead.
Well, speaking of Cardona, guys, which brings me to my next question. And Pablo Cardona, I think, needs to be talked about here because when we go back and think of Pablo Cardona at the beginning of the season and his story, how it continued through the months. In the beginning, we were talking about Pablo Cardona as potentially fighting for world number one along Leo Alsberger. And this was a project that could fight for the biggest titles in the world. And Tapia and Coello said, these guys are our biggest nightmare. And then Leo Alsberger leaves him from here, and then he's left for dead, basically. And then moving on to Juan Teo, which was a temporary fix. And then he's going to move on to Garrido for a brief stint for one tournament. And then he's going to move on to Gonza Alfonso. So for a man that we had talked about as potentially fighting for world number one to now partnering with Gonza Alfonso, who is a great player in his own right, but he's not considered someone who's fighting for world number one. So my question to be asked here, Ismaeel, is what's going on with Cardona?
I don't know. It's, for me, very weird because, you know, when Alsberger broke up this partnership, I already thought that was a very big problem. I didn't understand where that came from. Turns out Alsberger really loves Dineno and he wants to play with Dineno. But, you know, Cardona really proved himself. And I felt like he was making all the, you know, he's taking steps in the right direction. And to bounce around so much, I think it's really, hurtful for a young player. I think he needs consistency so he can develop and grow his game, and also to hone in on his strengths and, you know, sharpen his weaknesses, which I think most people agree it's his defensive capabilities, especially from the back of the court. So I don't know. I don't know. Does this mean that players don't want to play with Cardona? As far as I understand, that doesn't feel like the sentiment. He's a liked player, and he was perceived as a player that was going to challenge the top dogs. Coello Tapia, we're talking about how they lose sleep over facing Karborger. So, Yousef, I don't really understand what's the problem. Do players not like Cardona? Or does he not like them? Or does he believe in something else? Did they back out? Like, it's not clear to me really what's going on, because I mean, I could argue even that Teo should have preferred Cardona, for example, over Edu Alonso. Or I could say that why didn't Paquito call back Cardona when he had the chance? They worked really well last year. They went to the Barcelona finals at the end of the year. I'm so confused as to what's happening.
Haroon, any thoughts on Pablito?
Yeah, this move with Gonza, that's what's that leads to a lot of question marks. However, I think it was just unfortunate. Like, I think it's just he's caught in a time where hasn't been able to find the right spot, right long-term project, or something that is, you know, gonna fit for him, and maybe other teams as well saw some things more promising for them. So I thought it was just an unfortunate time. And I think before that, he was used to moving around a lot. So, like, maybe Paquito was his longest partnership other than with Ausberger. But he played with Bergamini a bit, and then he played with Paquito a bit. Like, so he's been changing, I feel, a lot. And I think he just needs to find somebody up and coming as well. Maybe somebody to support him, because it's tough to find somebody on that side to support him because he's playing on the right. So I think he's just fine. It's gonna figure it out.
Yeah, I agree with you in a way that he was just caught up in the middle of this silly season wave, and everyone was finding someone, and he's a unique player, you know. He's a left-handed player, and I think it's a very sought after skill set that he has. But there are certain players that would team up with him, and I think it would be spectacular when they do. And I do see potentially two partnerships that could be amazing for him. I said one before, the Franco Stupa partnership and the Coqui Nieto partnership.
Ooh.
Coqui Nieto, Pablo Cardona could be an amazing partnership. But I think Coqui's finishing up with Mike at least the season, and I guess they're gonna reevaluate there. And Cardona, he's probably gonna have it's gonna be a topsy-turvy end of the season because of this. But someone is going to want him because he has the skill set. He has the confidence. He's an alpha, by the way. So I just think the right partners aren't there for him yet. But I do believe by the end of the season and the beginning of next season, there are some guys who are going to be thinking very strongly of approaching Pablo Cardona.
Well, Yousef, for me, I have some question marks. Why is Teo choosing someone else over him?
Because
although I could say Teo likes a more consistent partner next to him, so I can understand. Garrido also choosing someone else over him and taking someone behind him in the rankings, which for me...
Because I think Garrido also, he needs someone to slow... Like we saw his best results came with Berga.
So it's true. I agree. They probably maybe both realize
it's just not compatible.
It's not a good match.
Yeah.
However, I don't think he's an alpha yet, Cardona. In my opinion, he's still growing into the alpha that he will become. I'll throw one more partnership potential in there, but that's not going to happen until next year, and that's Momo Gonzalez. I think next to Momo, we might also see his strengths emerge. The problem for Cardona is going to be that he has to find a way to maintain a good ranking, because I'm not sure if he drops so much or if he's not in the top 15, if Cookie's going to call him, or if Franco's going to call him, or if Momo even will call him. That's going to be his challenge. And I don't know if with Gonza, he's going to be able to finish in the ranking he wants.
Yeah, that's a very good point. But, you know, I do feel someone's going to take a risk with him, because it is a risk when you take someone in the lower ranks and then you try to get through. But I think he's worth it. He's worth the risk. He's a long-term project that you can believe in. And, you know, he's very grateful. He's a humble player, by the way, because he said, I am extremely grateful to Paquito for calling me last season. And he's saying, I was a young player, I'm coming, but I wasn't there yet. I wasn't spoken of as one of the guys that's in the top. But ever since Paquito called me and we went to late stages of tournaments, people are seeing me in a different light. And he said, I'm gonna be grateful to Paquito forever for doing that. And if someone does that again, I think it's only gonna increase his confidence, and eventually he's gonna break free even more.
Yeah, and also there was a very emotionally special moment for them last year. Remember when Paquito's mom had passed away, and Paquito still showed up to the tournament that they were playing because he wanted to get Cardona to qualify for the Barcelona Masters final. So they have a special bond. Paquito's a special person to all his partners. Well, guys, on the other side of the draw, we had an amazing final. Maybe the longest final of the year, maybe one of the longest matches of this year.
It is.
In the Premier Padel on the women's side, Yousef.
It is.
Between Delphi Brea and Gemma Triay against Ari and Paula Josemaria. Unbelievable roller coaster of a final. Yeah. Yousef, Delphi Brea and Gemma Triay came out the victors of this tough battle. Your thoughts on what we just saw today?
Delphi Brea and Gemma Triay are having a season for the history books. First of all, second longest match in the history of women's paddle. What we just saw.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God. Like I was tired watching it. Can you imagine them playing it?
Unreal.
Them playing not like 15 shot rallies, 30 shot rallies. I don't even know how high those rallies were going, but back and forth and ups and downs, and the mental fortitude to stay locked in. You know, Gemma and Delphi, I think they met their match today because Ari and Paula were here and they came to play and they were spectacular. I think Ari Sanchez was amazing. I think she played a great match. Paula had ups and downs, but I think Ari played a great match. And, you know, it was nice to see their energy back. That positive energy was back with that pair. We're talking about, are they going to leave each other? Not going to leave each other. You know, they look like they want to continue to fight with each other. They're enjoying it. And it was a special run from them. But Gemma and Delphi, guys, like, so clutch. They have proven to be. They're world number one for a reason. They are the most clutch players that we have on the women's tour right now. An 8th title for them in the 2025 season. And just iconic stuff from them. But, guys, Delphi Brea takes the cake in a way with just the cool, calm, and collectness that she continues to show. She's so creative. She's so smart. She's so clutch. She's so decisive. When you watch her, you gravitate towards her. I think she has aura level like infinity. When you watch her play, she's so fun. Gemma Triay is a spectacular superstar. But man, Delphi Brea, to me, I just watch her play sometimes and I'm like, oh my God, are you good at this game?
She's my favorite player on the women's side for me by far. But Haroon, what are your thoughts on what we saw today?
A hell of a grudge match, a hell of a battle. What a crazy one there. I was like, this to me felt it was going to be a straight set victory in the beginning though, because it looked like that. It looked like Delphi Brea and Gemma Triay were in control, and felt that, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a nice match. Maybe like just a straight sets victory, but there are going to be some cool points. But then, like Pablo Cardona and Ari Sanchez, turned out they just said no. They refused to back down, and they wanted to take it to a long match. But it turned out to be one of the longest matches ever. And yeah, I think it ended up just becoming fitness. Like Delphi Brea and Gemma Triay were just more fit. I think that Ari Sanchez was gassed because they kept on playing to Ari Sanchez. I think most of the points, like I'm just going to whip up a statistic here, but at least 60% of the balls, they were trying to attack Ari Sanchez more, and she was just gassed. Like it was, she couldn't hang anymore. And like you said, Yousef, Delphi Brea is so cool and calm and collect. And to me, she was the better player. And to me, if you look at it and you don't know any story, you don't know who's the younger player, who's the older player, you would look at Delphi Brea and say, like, yeah, she's the leader, she's the alpha, and she's the one that's in control. And that you would probably want to go to Gemma Triay because maybe she could make more mistakes. And I think that although they were trying to attack Delphi Brea more, like Ari Sanchez and Pablo Josemaria, but I think it's just because they think because she's younger, so maybe she's gonna make mistakes. But she was always holding her own, and I was like, why are you going to Delphi Brea? She's playing so great today. Like, you should not go to Delphi Brea. And the points were so long, and still she would find a way to make a very smart decision at a really decisive time, and it would be so like I was rooting for Paulo Jose Maria and Ari Sanchez, and it was disgusting that they were just like just a nice, really strong V border to the feet. So like, come on, really? After all the super long point. So yeah, it was a masterclass by them, and Delphi Brea is now into territory of becoming the best player in the world right now.
Oh, Ismaeel.
Well, I'm going to disagree with Haroon because he had Paulo Jose Maria as the biggest winner. I thought Paulo Jose Maria for the first set and a half was really the weak link in this match. And she was getting dominated because Delphi Brea was dominating her. I think that's the reason also why, you know, Gemma Triay and Delphi have been dominating Ari and Paula all year. I think Delphi has figured out Paula Jose Maria to a large extent. She just knows how to play her. And she knows how to bother her, although she knows how to bother everyone. But she's really figured out, I think, Paula to a really large extent. And you know, Gemma Triay is Gemma Triay. She's so consistent, so composed, so cool. But Delphi just felt like the aura. I agree. She's just so, she looks like she's so confident, cool. She's the most creative player on the court. She can hit all the shots. These drop shot volleys she comes up with at times in these clutch moments. Doesn't matter, break point down. She does it all and she's unfazed. That's the level of confidence she has. I also want to give a lot of credit to Gemma to bringing her up to this level of confidence. I didn't see this at the beginning of the year. No. But now, when I see her, she looks like the world number one. She looks like she's the one, you know, the best player on the court. This was not the case at the beginning of the year. She's there now. It's scary because people are going to have long days of work if you want to beat Delphi Brea and Gemma Triay now. Yeah. And also, I felt that after Gemma Triay and Delphi finished the match, especially Delphi, even after the second longest match, Yousef, you said, ever in the history of Premier, I felt that Delphi, if she wanted to go another 60 more hours, she was ready. She didn't even look like she was sweating that much. She didn't look tired. She didn't look like she was, you know, so elated to have won. She's like, yeah, let's go. Like this. Yeah. She's in that level right now.
I think Delphi Brea probably the player on tour who we've seen evolve the most.
100%.
Men and women's side.
100%. Yeah. It's not even close.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
But I think Gemma and Delphi need to send some very, very nice gifts to Ortega and Ricardo because they keep taking out Claudia and Bea, and Claudia and Bea are the only team that have figured them out. Yeah. So, and they keep doing that for them, and they're like, okay, Claudia Bea, we're gonna beat them now, so you guys can have an easier path to win this tournament. So, I think Gemma, Delphi, you do need to send some gifts to Martita and Tamara because they do deserve it. Yeah, Bea and Claudia, they're always your kryptonite, but I guess when they lose early, that's what happens. Yeah. But that was super interesting, and I think the question before we move on is, Ismaeel, Haroon, do I need to ask you who's your MVP?
Delphi Brea.
I think it's unanimous.
You don't need to ask him.
Haroon, Delphi Brea. I think it's Delphi Brea. It's not even a question. 1,000%. Delphi Brea, you are spectacular.
Yeah. She's a coach's kid. She's built for it.
Yeah. I love that they speak English also, so we get to understand afterwards, like their emotions and feelings. La verdad que estoy muy feliz. Like I'm good. I'm learning Spanish while watching, but guys, it's nice to hear Delphi Brea. I also like Delphi Brea and Gemma Triay have won more points with me because I actually understand when they speak afterwards, and they have really good English. So that's also a big bonus.
Good point there, because there's some things I really liked. So I want to give a lot of credit to Gemma Triay because she was always speaking English whenever she could. Like she was trying to speak English as long as she could, but I feel like other players were really copying out of that. And I also want to give credit to Galan. Galan was really trying to make sure that he speaks English a lot to get the crowd involved, because to me that's something, if you want to make a global sport, then we want to get everybody included, and sometimes they would just take the easy route and just speak Spanish right away, and then we have to wait for somebody to translate it for us.
I agree. Most eloquent speech I heard from Galan was today.
Yeah, it was nice. I think it's lovely to hear, to hear him speak. And by the way, in the quarterfinal, Chingo gave us some English too, by the way. Yeah. So Chingo's giving us some English.
They're coming.
Coello, by the way, deserves credit. He keeps giving us English. He keeps in interviews talking English. Paquito also, after back then in the Premier Padel Qatar, he said, actually, we should be speaking in English here because so everyone can understand. So,
And Yangos?
Yeah, and Young was obviously as fluent as they come. So these guys, they're pioneering the way into like, you need to speak English so we can understand and be bigger fans of you guys.
Yeah, it's really great. Thank you, everybody that's trying to learn English to bring us all included together in the sport. So massive credit to them. All right, guys, moving forwards and looking into the next tournament, P1 in Rotterdam. I want to know your thoughts. We want to preview. We have Chingalan. We have Coello Tapia. We want to talk about their draw. We have Coello Tapia and Chingotto and Mike Yangos in the same path. Your thoughts, Yousef, on this?
It's unfortunate, but I feel like all the top players are like, I hope I get the Chingotto Mike Yangos in my path, even though they're an extremely tough team, an extremely good team. The top 3 guys, I think, out of the top 4, well, they're the 4th seed, so it makes sense. They want that. Coello and Tapia, I think they enjoy playing Koki and Mike. So that's good news for them. Not good news for Mike and Koki.
Well, John Sanz and Paquito will get a crack at Koki and Mike.
Well, we're going to see. But, first tournament, I'm not going to look into much into the first tournament. I just want to see vibes. I just want to see paddle. I want to see compatibility. But I'm not really going to look at results when it comes to the P1 to the new Rotterdam P1 when it comes to the new teams.
Sure, but sometimes it's more surprising for the other team.
It is, yeah, for sure. You have a good point. You do have a good point.
What do you think, Ismaeel? We have also Lebron and Stupa on Chingalan side, so we might get a nice little feisty match there. Also, Ausberger and Dineno.
The other side, Haroon, is absolutely brutal. Dineno and Ausberger are going to have to go through, they're going to have to go to Stupa, and then Galan, and then Coello Tapia, should they get through any of them.
Yeah.
So they have an absolutely brutal side of their draw. Haroon, for the record, Chingotto and Galan are probably going to get the crack at Cardona and Garrido, and that might be fun to see there.
Yeah.
if they're able to bring that power and make the most of it. So I'm interested. I want these teams to do well because I want to see them match up. I want to see the best matches happen. But man, the box office match I'm looking forward to hopefully is at least we get Dineno Ausberger again against Stupa Braun. I think that's going to be, of course, it's going to be my favorite match to look forward to.
The thing is, though, as we go into bigger tournaments like majors and P1s, like the draw gets bigger, and I think it's much easier for the top players because they get to buy, they get to face like teams that are much lower ranked. On the contrary, when you have a P2 which is much more packed, and then you can actually face a better team early on. And I think that Chingalan, although yes they have Stupa and Ausberger on their path, but yeah, they're still gonna have to have a lot of easy matches up until they face them. And also Coello and Tapia have a cakewalk up until they face Yangos and Yeto. So we shall see what's going to be like.
But Haroon, also the point is that, sometimes when you have less matches, you don't get a feel of the court, and that actually might be counterproductive. We heard some players talk about that also before, including the Deus brothers, right? They talked about, when you were playing from the qualies, they were getting confidence, and now, less matches, and it's harder to get the flow of the court. Yeah. Sometimes you don't like to be that way. And so that was a very interesting insight. You guys need to check that interview out because there are so many cool insights there also about how it's like facing the top guys as well. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, just one quick point here, guys. You guys said, Cardona, Garrido, and that thing's going to be, it's going to be interesting. Well, first of all, Chingotto and Galan have the upper hand going into these colder, we're still in Europe. It's getting colder. It's indoors. The ball's not going to be flying that much, by the way. So advantage, Chingotto Galan against basically everyone. Except Coello Tapia.
It's always like that. That's
but
not
like
new.
even more now. Anyways,
let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting tournament. But before we go into making our picks, guys, my favorite segment of every episode, and that is overreaction or not. I'm gonna tell you something, and you let me know: is it an overreaction? Is it not? Ismaeel, first up, women's paddle matches should have final set super tie breaks. Overreaction or not?
This is because this match was the longest match ever in the history.
It was too long. It was too long.
It was super long. But then imagine the flack the women would be getting, like, oh, you win matches on super tie breaks, like it's not, you can't compare it to the men. And you know, by the way, I love super tie breaks. I'm a big fan of them because you really have to be clutch, and it's about clutch moments. Yeah. I love super tie breaks, but no, I'm not ready to go there yet. Maybe some tournaments. How about that? I would like to see that for some tournaments for men and for women.
P2s, for example.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Give me a format with a super tie break as the decider.
Interesting. Haroon, overreaction or not?
No, this is an overreaction. Why? Why do you want less paddle? I want more paddle. I want to enjoy it. I love it. It was an amazing match. 3 hours and 20 minutes. That's awesome. Give me more. I was enjoying it. I was like, please don't stop. Why would I want shorter matches? This is overreaction for me, man.
Well, you would get more high stakes paddle.
Yeah.
Because like up until 4-all, it's not high stakes. But super tiebreak, high stakes from the very first point to the very last one.
Are you going there?
I'm gonna say overreaction.
Okay.
I think final sets are still nice, and you know, give someone to come back and all these. And I think the storyline can change at any point. But I do agree. Let's make P2s, men and women, super tiebreak final set.
Any tournament, I want to see super tiebreaks.
Well, let's say
like
the lowest tier, make it the P2s a final set super tiebreak.
Yeah, like the final set super tiebreak in Wimbledon, and in Roland Garros, what we saw with Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner.
Doubles in tennis.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
it was amazing. That was the moment of the tennis year.
Yeah. Well, next one, Haroon, in the overreactions or not segment, that is, Chingalan will have a better finish to the season than Coello and Tapia. Overreaction or not?
No, I think this is an overreaction. Super high on Chingalan, amazing team, but Coello is gonna go home angry, and now he's gonna prepare for the next tournament because he's gonna have to make up for that loss. So I can't count Coello out like that. So no, I think this is an overreaction.
Ismaeel.
Yeah, I'm 100% with Haroon on this one. 100% overreaction. Every time Coello and Tapia lose, and likely they lose in a final, they come and win the next 7 tournaments. So if anything, it's going to go 100% the other way now, probably.
Yeah, you know, after a loss, it means probably 20 match win streak.
That's minimum.
So I'm going to say overreaction. Chingalan, absolutely love them. But Coello and Tapia, they're the kings for a reason.
Yeah.
So, a unanimous overreaction there. Well, how about this one, guys? Very interesting one. Ismaeel, let me come to you. Ausberger and Dineno were a one-hit wonder. Overreaction or not?
You know I'm not going to tolerate that disrespect here, right? You know I'm not going to tolerate that. But let me say, Haroon, that level from Dineno was garbaggio this tournament, especially in the match where they lost.
So do you agree with us now that Chingotto was higher level?
Oh, this tournament, he was way higher level. Way higher. I don't know if in general, because Dineno can have... Dineno's average for me, I think, is better than Chingotto's average. I'm not going to back off that. So, but Haroon, this was a really bad level, but I expect him to come back. I expect him to learn from it. Dineno was off, and it also affected Ausberger's level, I think, too. So, no, they're not a one-hit wonder. I expect a good finish to the season.
Haroon, overreaction or not?
No, this is an overreaction because just Ausberger is not a one-hit wonder. Ausberger is a great player. And Ausberger is going to bounce back for sure. And Dineno looked like he's a savvy player now. He's becoming the Dineno of old. So, no, this is an overreaction. They're not a one-hit wonder. I think they're going to bounce back.
Yousef.
Very interesting. Very interesting. One-hit wonder, does that mean like that title win, that's the only time we're going to see him win a title?
Yeah. Or play that well or reach that level.
Well, guess what? Not an overreaction. Because I think that was one of the most magical title runs we've ever seen, and I think it was iconic. And I do not think it's possible for you to duplicate that. So I'm gonna say, that was a one-hit wonder. They're gonna make semifinals, they're gonna make quarterfinals, but I don't think we're gonna be seeing them up there with the Chingalans and the Coello Tapias.
So no more finals or titles for Ausberger Dineno till the end of the year. Not even one. Not even one final.
You're making me make a big prediction.
Yeah, well, not even one final or one title.
I think they're done for the season.
Wow. We'll come back to this.
The levels that we're seeing from Coello Tapia and Chingalan right now.
No, I think they're going to be P2s or they're going to have openings.
That's an asterisk there. So I
said any final or title this year.
that if they play a tournament where Coello and Tapia are not in there and Chingotto and Galan,
I don't know.
fine. They're gonna win another tournament this year.
So they're
but
not
that's
one-hit
only
wonders?
going
No.
to be because the top two guys aren't there.
So then they're not one hit wonder.
No.
Really? So Stupa.
No,
okay, fine.
they're not
Stupa and Young was last year. Anyways,
Because everybody's going to
maybe,
play everything. So, no.
we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
Well, guys, that was the overreaction or not segment. It was fun. It was kind of short. We didn't have many this week, but we had some interesting ones. Please let us know. Do you agree with us? Do you not? Overreaction or not segment is one of our favorite segments to do. Do you have any suggestions? Also, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Well, we also like to keep it 100 on this show. And we like to be transparent with you guys on where we were right and where we were wrong.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't make our finals pick, but I do want to give Haroon, you and Yousef your flowers because both of you had predicted correctly in the quarterfinals. You both had Koki and Mike downing Paquito and Berga. You were right on that.
And straights.
In
We both said straights.
And you also had Yousef.
Chingalan and straights over Augsburger and Dinino.
Yeah, you also had them against my boys. I was also optimistic that they might do it
Can
again.
I get any credit for the Chingalan win?
No.
Come on.
If you went live and you had it,
We didn't though. We should have because I told you. You guys said same thing's
you were
probably
high
gonna
on them.
happen.
You were high on them. You were high
I
on
told
them.
you
and
guys I
need to-
feel something's different this time.
It's a good call. It's a good call. And so we have a lot to look forward to as we move in here.
Okay, guys. Super quick turnaround. We have the Rotterdam P1 is actually live. So time to make some picks. Ismaeel, on the women's side, who do you have winning the Premier Padel Rotterdam P1?
I just told you right now how impressed I am with Delphi Brea, and I think she's becoming an absolute alpha. She's unfazed in all big moments of big matches, and I love the momentum they have. They've been consistent all year. I'm riding with my favorite player, Delphi Brea and Gemma Triay.
Okay, Haroon, who do you have?
This is it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But I think I'm going to go for Paulo Jose Maria and Ari Sanchez. I feel like they were so close, and I think that they're going to figure it out this time.
Haroon, I am going with you. You know, we always say whenever there's a close match and the loser actually has the upper hand the next time they play. So I'm going to go also Ari and Paula to win the Rotterdam P1.
It would be good for the plot.
It would be. It would be. Well, guys, on the men's side, quick turnaround also. We're moving into the Rotterdam P1. Chingalan just showed us some amazing level in Germany. Moving on to the Netherlands. Haroon, who is your champion of the Premier Padel Rotterdam P1?
I have to go with Coello Tapia because I think they're going to come play angry and they're not going to let this win, bounce off like that. So I think they're just going to come in super focused and Coello Tapia they're going to dominate.
Ismaeel.
I have to agree with Haroon. It's hard to go against Coello and Tapia after a loss. It really is. Every time they lose, they come back and they dominate for like 3 months. Like, it's so hard to go against them. And I can't do it. I can't go against them. I can't go against them. My heart wants to go in a different direction, but my mind, I just believe that they're going to find a way to take this one, Yousef.
Yeah, you know what? I believe
You going to do it?
in two guys.
Yeah?
One called Galantico.
Okay.
And the other one called Raton, the mouse. I think Chingalan are going to continue their incredible form. I love the green color, by the way. Awesome. They're going to continue. I think they have the momentum going into next tournament. They broke that mental barrier. And I think they're going to go back to back.
Wow. That would be amazing. That would be honestly amazing if that happens.
I believe.
I hope that
I
happens.
believe. Does anyone else believe me? Believe, not believe with me. Not believe me. Believe with me.
What
We're
about
going to see.
Augsburger Dinino? Are they going to do something?
No comment.
I would have been my backup pick. I would have been. I was ready to go there,
Nope.
but I
Nope.
can't. I'm not going to go
Nope. Quick turnaround. We are going to find out very
there.
soon.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Guys, let us know what you think about the episode, about our picks. And also, if you enjoyed that, you're really going to enjoy our latest interview with the Deus brothers, top 20 in Premier Padel. So many interesting insights that they gave us about becoming top players. They started as coaches. Now they're facing off against Chingalan and Coello Tapia. You're going to love what they had to say. And if you're also looking to improve your paddle game and you want to learn how to improve and how to become a top player, go listen to our interview with the Swedish national team coach, Coach David Howe.
Awesome interview.
Amazing
Awesome
interview with so many insights that you're going to love. And you're going to up your paddle game and IQ by at least 20 points immediately after that interview. So go watch it and come back and let us know what you think. And see you here right after the Rotterdam P1. And follow and subscribe so you can get all your paddle stories and news here. We'll see you next time.
Vamos, vamos, vamos!